Hi, my name is Sally Barnard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A. And now onto the show.
Studios. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday at just gone 2:30. We were running a few seconds late, but I hope you're still there. I'm ready to talk to anybody that wants to call in. Anybody, we have a nice studio audience here today. So any questions you want to ask me. Just to say, and I want to just introduce myself for people that may not know what I do. I've had a show here now for over a year, but I'm a psychic, a medium, and it's a call-in show, and I'm absolutely happy to answer any questions that anyone asks me. I work very well with a question. Without a question, for some reason, it's hard for me to actually even express what I'm talking about. But once that question comes in, it just flows. So anybody that is listening to my show, please call in and ask me whatever is on your mind, okay? Thank you. I'm going to open it up to the studio right now. And also, actually, before we go any further, I don't know where Josh is, but we have a birthday cake for Dawn. Oh, here's the candle. Here we go. We're going to sing a happy birthday. My voice is terrible, so I'm going to leave it to everybody in the audience. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dawn. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
I think we should
Dawn.
make this for Louise, too.
Yeah, my daughter who passed away a year and a half ago was also,
Today's
she's
her
sharing a
birthday.
birthday. It's her birthday too, so we're going to blow out a candle
make a
for
wish
you
for
and for Louise.
Okay.
Thank you, Dawn.
A wish for Louise.
Thank you so much. She's watching you. You give me many messages
know.
from her, I know that. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to the studio audience. I did introduce myself a little bit, but okay, any questions that anybody is wanting to ask me in the studio?
When am I moving into my art gallery?
When are you moving into your art gallery? Okay, it's Hannah, right? Hannah, I just met you, but I feel that you are going to be moving in within the next, I'm going to say, couple of months. I also feel that you are absolutely, and I try to make this show positive, but if I don't feel something positive, I will also say it, but I'm feeling positivity. I feel very strongly that you're going to do very well there. You're going to do a lot of, I feel the advertising that you're going to do is going to bring a lot of people in, but once they come into your studio, they're going to see where they actually are, and they're going to love it. I believe it's in Fort Lauderdale, correct? Okay, so, and I'm happy to show some of my art there too, which I will talk about on the show. I'm on the show every week. You're going to be successful there. It's going to take a little while to build it up, but you're on the right track, and continue with the advertising because it's local for a lot of people in Boca, and even as far as I'm going to say, I'm not even sure where Fort Pierce is, but as far as they will come down and see your studio.
Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. Hi, Joe.
Hi. My question is, I think now I have just embarked on a new style of art, and I really enjoy it. It's Art Nouveau style, and I'm doing this, and I was just wondering if you would have any insight as to if that's going to be an effective medium for me to do.
Yes, I feel that too. I feel, you know, I was saying everything is so positive, but I do feel it is very positive. As an artist, I change my style a lot. It's like every 6 months I'm doing something different, which I believe you've started to do. You have done that. I believe that this is going to be very successful for you, what you're doing right now. I feel that you're very in tune with what you're doing. I feel that you're putting a lot, although you may not even be aware of it, a lot of your energy is going, although you know about the energy, I'm sure, into your art right now, and it's going to show, and that energy is going to go out to a lot of people. I also feel that your art will definitely be in Hannah's studio too. This is, I don't believe in coincidences, so I believe, and I'm getting my goosebumps as Dawn and Freddie can tell you that happened. I believe that this, show was I had no idea the way it was going to go, but it was a gratitude, and my gratitude is that I have a couple of fellow artists here, and that we're in the right place. Yes.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Dawn, Freddie, anybody calling in?
Actually, I do think you have a caller. We'll see if they put him through in a minute. But what do you see happening? Yesterday was powerful for whatever you want to believe in. It was Palm Sunday. It was Purim. There's a lunar eclipse that tonight. A lot of powerful things happen. Today is holy. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
What the heck is going on, Sally?
I don't know. And you know what? I am Jewish, and I wasn't too familiar with Purim, but suddenly I'm hearing I mean, I knew it was Purim, but I'm hearing so much about Purim right now. And I feel that it's not coincidence that these all holidays are happening at the same time, because it's all about togetherness, okay? And right now the world is so getting a strange message, to say a strange thing, jumpy. I have no idea what that means, but they're telling me to say it's very jumpy right now. Maybe it's very up and down right now. The message here is, please, let's all, it doesn't matter what religion, whatever you follow, let's try and send good vibrations out into the world right now. It is so badly needed. The eclipse, I've heard things about what's going to happen in the eclipse. I believe it's in there is an eclipse, but there's two. The second one can be a little bit strange. So I don't know astrology as much as I do what I'm talking about right now, but I know that it's very important to put these vibrations out right now of positivity, even if you're just wherever you are, if you're washing the dishes or you're going to sleep. Let's say, please, let's raise these vibrations. Let's talk to Mother Earth. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what we can do if we all pull together. It's so very, very important.
That's a beautiful message.
Thank you very much.
Actually, there was a Shabbat dinner that an Israeli girl from Morocco, just like me, I'm from Morocco and Israel, and she did a Shabbat dinner with a Muslim girl, and everybody was telling them, "What are you doing? We're in the middle of a war," and they had a beautiful Shabbat dinner.
Oh, beautiful.
And just to see that, I'm sure it heals the world just hearing about it and seeing it.
That's a very important message, Hannah. I wish, the more that we talk about this, the more that we can just understand that we're all in, I'm going to say, this mess together. We can get out of it if we all just try very hard to love one another. Religion, country, what does it really matter? The words that come to me is the song that John Lennon sang, Imagine, and that meant so much. I mean, Josh isn't here to play it maybe, but just listen to the words there. There is, it's so real, it's so important. So let's lift our vibrations. If this show does nothing more right now than to help people understand that we're all together in this mess, let's get out of this mess and bring it into positivity.
Sally, I got a question. A lot of people think that the end of a journey is when one should be grateful, but having the ability to take a shot at it, I wanted you to talk a little bit about having the gift of being able to attempt certain things, to accomplish them, is the part where we should be grateful, or is it only accomplishing them that we should be grateful about?
No, it's both, Freddie, because we can't be grateful if we're not thankful for what is leading us into the situation that we want to be grateful for. So it all starts basically, I'm saying, with, let's say, positivity with an idea, just to know whatever that idea is, to say to yourself, this is going to succeed. Even if you don't believe it, let's voice that. This is going to succeed, no matter what it is. Then we can move forward, and ultimately there will be success. So we're grateful for both, for the thought that we may have, imagination, and then to bring it into the forefront for it to succeed.
So the second part of that question is, we are attempting to open up a studio in Miami, North Miami, south of Ventura. It's a difficult quest to do it because of the ownership and the way it's handled and the way its availability, for lack of a better phrase. What do you see?
Well, you know, and again, I always do try to be positive on my show. But on the other hand, if something, and I think we have discussed this before, if you see a lot of obstacles, and I'm not saying about what you're talking about necessarily, this is in general, if you see a lot of things that are just not going the way that you wanted, give it a shot, continue with whatever it is. Again, I'm not necessarily talking about the studio, but if it continues to go that way, then step back for a minute, reevaluate the situation, because maybe it wasn't meant to happen. I see good things with you. I see good things with Dawn, with both of you, with your show. I don't necessarily see the locations right now, but I know that your show is, you're getting more and more, not just with the local audience, but you are expanding. The word I hear is expanding. Please expand to wherever you may want to, you feel that you may want to go. And there may be places that maybe it just isn't going to work. So if you get that feeling, think about it, talk about it, and if it still doesn't feel right, then it's not, because there's plenty of other opportunities in other places.
Well, yeah, but the art of expansion is never a comfortable feeling. There's always the
Right.
unknown. The network that we have cooking right now in San Francisco took years to make that happen. It wasn't something that happened overnight, because we're not there, so somebody physically has to carry. Same thing with North Miami. In order for it to accomplish, I don't expect it not to have hiccups.
Nothing runs completely, without problems.
Of
I
course,
understand
of
that.
course.
And it takes time. And if it's something, again, let me maybe rephrase that. If it's something that you feel in your heart that's really where you want to go, no matter where it is, continue with that. But let's say a year from now, if something isn't happening, then try to reevaluate that, because maybe, and it could be, if I'm not saying necessarily Miami, but it could be Fort Lauderdale. It could be somewhere else where the vibrational energy is flowing, that you should know about that. But go with always your gut to where you feel, but don't give up. Obviously, don't give up because things aren't going, nothing runs smoothly. Nothing, there's a saying, I can't remember exactly what the saying is, but if it's meant to be, it will happen. But it doesn't. If everything ran smoothly, that could also be a problem, because at the end you go, oh my goodness, why didn't I see that? So it's a balance. If we keep that balance as we go about our journey, then we're going to be all right. But beware, there's a balance. There is, not beware, understand that there's a balance with this.
Do you need someone to be in the space to run it for you?
No. It has to do with anytime you go to somebody else's house, there are
Rules.
rules. And the rules change. It's like people that came here today, the rules changed. And I understand that. I completely understand that. So you can schedule a shoot, and then the shoot is postponed. It's called a bump because something else came in for them. So it's not a bad challenge. It's just different.
And if you accept that and go again with what you truly feel, Freddie, you feel that what you're doing is correct and this is the right place for you, even if you'd get those hiccups along the way, don't give up. I'm not telling you to give up or anybody to give up on that journey, but eventually, if it's just really, and not you necessarily, anything is not panning out, take a step back and think about it again. I think that you're on the right track. I've always said that about you. And Dawn, with the studio, I feel that you are going to go to many different places, that you're going to be on the air in many different places. Maybe Miami, but I'm going to say other places too, not necessarily in Florida. That expansion goes out, and I'm feeling that it's going more, it's like I'm seeing a circle, and I'm seeing it going further and further afield. And that's really important, because what I'm seeing, I feel, is vibrational energy going out to these different places. So go with what you feel in your heart that you want to do.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard, like even with the space that I'm working with on now, the landlord agreed on a price, then moved me to another storefront, which I didn't even want, and then I got hooked me on. Well, originally wanted the coffee shop space, so then he's like, okay, well, we're not doing that space, even though I was supposed to send you the contract, so we're going to move you to the other space. And I was like, oh goodness, like, when is this ever going to happen? That's why I asked you the question.
Are you in a coffee shop right now? Because I'm feeling that that's a good space for you.
Yeah, and
yes.
that's the original space I
I
wanted.
think I'm not sure because I
Yeah.
don't know your whole situation, but I feel I see a coffee shop of some kind.
because it was
Definitely.
fun just to merge
Yes.
like people coming in, they're drinking coffee.
Is
I
that
don't have-
working out for
So
you?
that's the space I'm working on right
Yes,
now.
I feel that that's a
Yeah.
positive space.
And I have someone who's coming tomorrow who's interested in renting one of the rooms who's going to be doing podcasts, who wants to do podcasts. And so having Don and, them actually doing a radio show there would be fun too. We can have them come over and do, stuff there as well if they'd like. I'm happy to have you there.
Thank you.
Is there any calls coming in? I believe one person told me they were
I
calling.
think there was, but I don't know if there is or not. So
Hey,
there you go. Say hello,
it's
Sally.
me.
Hi, who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Pete, your guest on your show.
Pete, I thought it was you. You sound a little different on the radio, on the phone. Hi, Pete.
Yeah. Hey, girl, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today? You have a question for
Fine.
me.
First
Pete.
of all, happy birthday to Dawn.
Thank you.
Okay,
She
Pete.
looks like she's 21, 22 on video.
Thank you, Pete.
She's 21 or 22, did you say?
Hey. Yeah, that's what she looks like today on
Yes,
live video. I was watching
absolutely.
the show.
Okay, what is your question, Peter? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to hit two subjects, but you already hit one of them. You were talking about Freddie getting the broadcast out, maybe near down to Miami. I already carry an FM transmitter. I broadcast out down here, North Miami, and your show's already going out down here in North Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
This is for you, Freddie, I think. Okay, Freddie's here right now. Or he was.
That's good.
He disappeared.
All right. But
Ghost
it's
to
amazing.
us?
Psychically, you were just talking to him about that,
Yes, we
and I'm
were,
already
yeah.
doing it.
Okay. Oh, you are? You're doing it. Did you say?
Yes.
It's hard to
I'm
hear
carrying,
you, Pete.
Yeah, carrying.
For some reason, it's not that clear. What is he saying? Did you get the message,
Yeah.
Freddie? I think it was for you. Okay. So you're
Yeah,
broadcasting from Miami,
already-
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, carrying your broadcast all the way down here.
Okay. This is Pete from the show the other day. Okay. Is there any other question that you have maybe that you want to talk about?
Yeah, yeah. There's interesting that show that was on with Freddie, and this goes in part with your psychicness. That girl that was doing the exercises for the body, for the yoga, and breathing in. All of us are supposed to breathe in through the nose. That's why there's hairs in the nose, and then breathe out, so that exercise of yoga is done even more perfection.
So you are watching Alicia, the show, right? She's very
Yeah.
yoga, yes. She's very intuitive and is giving a nice show. Okay, so I guess we got the message to breathe in and breathe out, Freddie. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah. So what do you think of that? What do you think of that, Sally, as this form of a psychic awareness?
Well, I think it's not coincidence that my show is directly after her show. So I'm good friends with
Yeah.
Alicia, and she has a very important message. I think it's very important to breathe. Well, we all breathe, but I mean
Exactly.
to be aware of our breath. Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
I
why
think-
there's hairs in the. That's why there's hairs in the nose. That's what
Thank you.
the spirit has put into our body.
Thank you very much, Pete. I think we have another caller waiting. Dawn, did you say somebody that's waiting to
Yeah.
talk? Or?
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
Thank you very much, Pete, for calling in. I appreciate it.
And they wanted to ask you about coincidence versus universal timing.
Okay.
Do you believe in coincidence?
You know I don't from my show. I don't believe even us sitting here right now is coincidental. I don't believe there's such a thing as coincidences. You know, bless you.
She
I don't
sneezed on the
believe that
truth,
because
see?
that means the spirits. How many times do I sneeze on my show? And you know that. When I sneeze, we know that there's a spirit here, and you just validated that for me. That was not coincidence. There we go.
My
Okay.
mom always says, where's my mic? My mom always says when you sneeze, when somebody says something, that means that they're talking about the truth.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the message is there are no coincidences. You sneezed on it. Thank you. You validated that. Okay. All right.
But sometimes it takes longer to understand the message and what it is. Like your daughter and myself having relatively the same birthday.
Absolutely. And I believe this is not coincidence that I'm sitting in this cafe, and unfortunately she did pass a year and a half ago, but I feel very much her presence. But even more so, if you don't mind me saying, I know that you feel her presence very much, Dawn. And the fact that when you think about it, her birthday is so near yours, and she was born in England and you're born over here, so there's not even less of a difference. It's not maybe the same day, because I think you're a little bit younger than she was, or about nearly the same age as when she passed, okay? So this is not coincidence that we're even talking about it, that I'm wishing you a happy birthday and I'm wishing my daughter that passed a very happy birthday. And I believe there's a lot in birth dates. I'm not that aware. I know astrology, but I'm not familiar with a lot of the things that astrologers will talk about. But even with you, your son, Gino, and I remember this, his birthday's the same day as my son.
The 31st?
31st of January. And it came up on my calendar. Gino, I'm going, Gino, no, it's my son Gary, but it has Gino birthday. So there is no coincidences to this. There is absolutely no coincidence in my mind. I don't believe so.
And then I got a message the other day about a redheaded woman from another lifetime, a different generation. And I don't know what that means. Do you see her?
At first I didn't. I actually thought it was an aunt of mine on my mother's side. But I think we're going back into where we were, if our viewers, and I'm sure if you're tuning in at this point, you believe in past lives, because I very much do. This is a past life, and it's Elizabeth. I do feel that. And I actually wanted you to ask me the question on the show, because I've tuned into my guides at this point. She's trying to get hold of us. There is something, as you know, you were, do you mind if I tell people who you were in that lifetime? You were my daughter, as my daughter in this life was my daughter. So I feel oh my God, am I getting strong vibrations about that? And that's why, again, is it coincidence that your birth date is the same as my daughter? And I think I emailed you this, as long as you don't mind. I believe that you were sisters and I was your mother. And I think that Elizabeth was very much a part of that. She was also in that family that we were, and you're very aware of the family, I know that. And Aldo, who people that know who have been following me on my show, Aldo, my guide who was here, who actually was in this lifetime, had talked very much about it. So I believe that the messages I'm getting now are from him. And Elizabeth is watching over us right now. I feel that she wants very much she's giving us good vibrational energy. She's also saying that it's up to us where we go. It's still, they can give us, and this is from her, I believe, many messages. I can give you many messages, but ultimately the decision comes from us. So I can tell you you're going to do this and that's what they see, or even what I see. But because we have free will, it's still up to us. If we believe it, we're halfway there. Don't have to believe it, but if you do and you remain positive on your track, and this is what she's telling me about you guys here, continue, and you, and actually each one of us sitting here, believe it, believe what you feel, because you can make it happen, absolutely. And for some reason, she's on the show right now and giving me that message, and I think that's why she showed herself to you, Dawn. And my daughter is right by her right now, and so is Aldo, very much so, who was my guide here, who I knew very well. And they're like sitting very similar. It's making me want to cry, and it doesn't happen very much on my show, in a circle just as we are, and they're discussing exactly, and they're sitting exactly how we're sitting. Oh my gosh, I've never done this. And they're saying, let's help these guys. Let's show them that this is real. Please, please, believe that it's real. Just follow your dreams. They're telling me, follow your dreams. You will not go wrong by following your dreams, okay? Because it's all to do, I am so there right now. Our imagination, it starts with imagination. This is all imagination. Follow that imagination to a higher place. Believe in yourself. Even if people are telling you no, it doesn't matter. As long as you stay true to yourself and believe what you want, it will happen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was, it's making me think now that the art that I am currently doing, the Art Nouveau style, that I feel so close to it. I feel like I'm almost channeling it. That I'm feeling, because there's nothing like that today, but I'm channeling that particular style because of the time and everything.
You are, Jay, you are. You have been before, but what's happening now is you've become aware of it. So continue. You're doing beautiful things from that art. Just like I do very intricate art. And I haven't really put it anywhere, but they're telling me to start with doing more of that. But the same thing is happening to you right now. And I don't believe that you've been putting your art out as much as you should. But right now, do so. Follow this. It is a channeling. I believe that all artists maybe have this to start off with. They are, a little different sometimes, and I know that too, which is a good thing. Out of the box, as I like to call it. But it's coming from somewhere else. I like to call it our higher self. And as we continue to do what we feel is right. So it's the same thing as I don't remember my messages, but from what I just said. So continue with what you're doing. I believe that this is really going to take you to big places.
Because I've done a lot of different styles in the past. I've done a lot of things, but I'm very, very strongly drawn to this particular style.
So stay with this, like I do sometimes. I'll do a certain piece of art and I'll continue to do it for 6 or 7 months. Then it will change. Whatever you're doing right now, continue doing that, because it is coming. It's coming from another, it's you, but it's coming from another place of you. And that's important. You have an important message with this art. I feel that very strongly.
Okay, great.
You want to take a commercial break?
Okay. As I always say, and I'm going to I'll see you on the other side, but on the other side of my show. I love to say that. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in this world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? This world as we know it, it seems so real, and yet so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask? Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us. Go in peace, go with love, go as one. Zena.
A true story, Call Me Zena is the telling of Sally Barnard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
story starts at 4 or 5 years old. My name is Sally Barnard, and I was born at the end of the Second World War, in the middle of an air raid siren going off. My parents were in a movie theater, and my mother went into labor. My father ran out of the movie theater, but there was no cabs to be available because everybody is running for cover. However, they found one, and the taxi driver was given the address to take my father and my mother to the hospital. As my mother was in labor, about a half an hour, I arrived at exactly midnight. I think I was fed messages at a very early age. My parents used to like to play cards, and they had a card game every Wednesday or Thursday night at home when I was a baby. And I actually said to them one day, "Why do you keep waking me up at night? The card game is waking me up, and I can't get back to sleep so quickly." And they looked at each other and they said, "We're not really waking her up." They were quite away from my bedroom. And they called in a psychic to say, "What in the world is going on?" And the psychic said that I'm getting many messages that are waking me up at night. I thought whatever I was experiencing, other people were experiencing too. You don't know until you realize that you are different. Many things were happening to me, things that were unexplainable to me. What I had dreamt was happening. I could sense many things, and the things that I was sensing were coming about, but something was going on. I will explain to you everything. You're ready.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Barnard, and you can find my book and artwork by visiting artbysallybarnard.com. Now back to the show.
Back into where I was, and I'll answer the question. Hi. We're on the other side of my show, okay? We're still here. Okay, any questions? Hi, Dawn.
Go ahead, you want to ask?
So I was going to ask you a question, but this has to do with love.
Okay.
I seem to be getting a ton of inquiries, and I'm having a hard time figuring out where to go from here. I don't know if I should be dating somebody exclusively or if I should keep my options open.
I'm feeling very much at this point, Hannah, and I mean, we've just met, so I feel please keep your options open right now, because there is somebody there, but you need to expand too with this. You need to meet a lot of different people. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. Okay, all right. I don't know what I'm missing, something that's fun, but I don't quite know what it is. But that's my message for you guys, okay?
Thank you.
And what's your vision about the coffee shop?
Yeah, I always, many years before I actually did the show here, I actually was going to write a book, not necessarily about my story, which of course I'm writing now, and hopefully the movie too, but it was about a coffee shop. I could see myself in a cafe. I think I may have even mentioned this once before. This was when I was in England. And it was all the stories of everybody telling a story around this cafe. And I don't know quite how this fits in, but I'm at a cafe right now, and I have been here for the Brooklyn Cafe, which is a cafe, and we do have coffee, and we do tell our stories. And here you're talking about a cafe. So I'm feeling that the word is blending in. It's all blending in together. I saw this many, many years ago. I didn't see myself necessarily there, but it was a book that I wanted to write about other people's stories. So yes, I'm writing a story about myself, and I'm in the cafe. And now I've shown you some of my art. It happens to be an art studio that you're going to have in the cafe. It's blending together. I don't know yet. I don't know. Interesting, right?
Whatever you think that means.
I throw that open to my audience. I'm not sure myself, but maybe we will see what that is. I believe that we're all sitting in the right place right now. Okay, so whatever.
Pink nails, by the way. But mine
Oh,
are
we
a little
do.
darker.
Little bit, yes.
Linda wrote in, Sally, I couldn't believe the Wordle answer today. I don't want to give it away, but it was truly amazing.
Yes. I think we can at this point, maybe, because
Give Wordle away?
Yes.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't done your Wordle, close your ears.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yes, this was quite incredible because they don't usually give names. I don't do Wordle, but my husband does and Linda does. So it would be very meaningful today, since it was my daughter's birthday today, that it might be something, I never even thought about it, pertaining to what is happening. Do you know what the word was? Sally.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. And I said, but they don't give names. But apparently Sally does have another meaning in the dictionary. But why? To me even, that was strange. The word was Sally. Yes, Linda, that was strange. Thank you. And we received that message, both Steve and I, this morning, loud and clear. He put it in as a joke because he had the Y and maybe the S, I'm not sure. And it happened to be my name.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yep, Sally was the word for Wordle. I'm sorry if anybody didn't know what it was today, but we're halfway through the day, so.
You even got Freddie to look up on that one.
Yeah, Sally. Sorry if you were going to do it, but my name was the Wordle today.
And Jay, what about you? What do you think you're going to be doing next? You had a change of life experience.
I have. My wife recently passed away, and so it's made a lot of changes in my life. I'm doing a lot of different things, and a lot of it has to do with my artwork. I'm getting involved with that, but I'm starting to see new directions of where I'm going with it, and what I'm going to be doing with my artwork. And I'm open to new avenues, new opportunities, and a lot of things like that, because I know that what I'm doing is different from what I've done before, and I know that there's something there for me to follow. So.
The word that I'm going is broaden your horizon, if that makes sense to you. Please follow through with that, Jay. You won't go wrong, okay? I think I gave you a message earlier. I don't always remember my messages, but I'm hearing very strongly, follow your horizon, okay? Thank you. That makes sense. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Sally. How's it going?
Everything's good. How's it going with you, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
I'm starting in a new place soon, so what should I take from here to pass on to my new place?
First of all, I must say, and I'm very sorry to hear you go, but you follow your dreams too. You will always, I'm sure, be welcome here in the cafe. What are you taking to your, everything that you've learned here? Okay, this has been a great learning experience, and I don't feel that I can't give you or tell you what to do, but I don't feel that here is the end of this journey here, if that makes sense to you. But carry through with where you're going. You've learned everything that you've learned. You are basically definitely on the right track of what you've learned. Where you go from here, again, is entirely up to you. But take the experiences that you've learned here into your next venture.
And then what should I bring in from the outside world into here?
Your experiences, they have you're learning all the time, Josh. I believe that your journey is, I think you're very aware of your journey today, and hopefully I've contributed a little bit to that to help you understand a little bit.
Of course.
Always be aware of where you're going. I don't want to say that I feel that the road is going to take you back here, because I don't know, but I feel very strongly that you're not going to leave the cafe completely. That's all I want to say right now, and that's coming to me very strongly. So take those experiences, and you will continue. You're learning a lot. You're still young, but you're on the right track of where you're going, of what you want to do. Follow your dream. Follow your dream. That's really important, okay?
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you, Sally.
I want to ask you, how long does a person that's name starts with a J have left to be here with us?
Has left to be here with us? Again, I appreciate your question. It's hard for me to answer that because I don't like to predict how long someone has, okay? Just be of a comfort to that person. When we choose, my belief, and I don't expect everybody to believe that, is we do choose when we're going to go, okay? So that's up to that person. But just continue to be a comfort to that person. I am feeling some vibrational energy from that, actually, and I think you know what I'm talking about. But as to give you how long, I may know, but I just don't do that.
Am I going to be there? Is it something that I need to continue doing? And
Whatever you're doing now, continue with what you're doing. And if you're meant to be there, let's say at his or her transition, you'll be there. And if you're not, have no regrets about that. But be there for that particular person as you are right now. Again, I can't give you a date or a day, but yes, it's going to happen, but we all go and we all transition. So just as long as you're doing everything that you feel is what you're meant to be doing, then you're on the right track for the person too, okay? If that helps you at all.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. You have a question for me, Freddie.
I got a question. You know, the producers, they come in from school, some come in for experience, and then they move on and do the things they have to do for their calling. And I remember when I'm the one that asked Dawn about 8 years ago with her daughter, they got involved to bring in different kids from different schools. And you get attached, but that wasn't the outset of the program. Right? It wasn't about attachments, it was about growth. It was about doing things, teaching things, and escalating through teaching the growth of where you want to go. Should I change that format? Should I make it with no more interns, no more students, and just go strictly business?
No, I don't feel that you should, because ultimately you're helping. Nothing lasts forever, and that's what I'm hearing. You're putting these students on the right track, Freddie. Combined it, obviously go the business part of it too, but the balance is here too. You're doing a lot of good for these people. I myself, I've been with the studio now doing my show for perhaps a year and a half, and I've seen many people come and go. We don't forget the people that are going, and we see new ones come in. But that's all part of our journey, of their journey. You're teaching them, and that's really important, to teach them, to put them where they're meant to be. If they're meant to be here for longer, you know what, they will be, or they'll come back. As I was just saying to Josh, I don't want to put any ideas into his head. It's entirely up to him. I've grown close to Josh. I've known him for a long time too. But they also have their journey, so they have to continue. But ultimately, if they're meant to come back here or in your life somewhere, they will come back.
Yeah, but I'm not highlighting the producers. I'm highlighting the business aspect. In order, because you have to be able to have a model that's sustainable. You have to be able to have production at a level that you don't want to go 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. And the question I'm asking is, should I just take it as a business venue?
Oh, okay.
And just hire people and forget about bringing in the teaching aspect, or do I continue to do what I'm doing with adjustments?
I think continue what you're doing with adjustments, if that makes sense. To just continue on the track that you're going, but maybe balance a little bit. Does that make sense to you at all? Balance out, because you're giving a lot of people an opportunity here, but you're also giving yourself that opportunity, if that makes sense to you. So don't lose track of that. Ultimately, this is, and anything that we do out there, is a business, and it is a business. And anybody that coming in here sees it that way, just as you do too. But you're also helping a lot of people, Freddie. But you know, I could say, and I've done it with my art, or I can give all this art away. But also, I need to somehow change that a little bit too. We need a balance, if that makes sense. Because unfortunately, and I'm going to say money is the root of all evil, because in some ways it is, but in order to survive, we need money. So, you know, whilst we're helping people, we also need to make a living, if that makes sense to you. So balance that out. And I think the more you see that, the more opportunities are going to flow more easily for you, if that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
It does. It's just a question of finding that balance.
Well, that's you. You have to, this is up to you to do that, and you're more than capable. Be aware that there's a balance. The more you're aware of that, you will bring what you need to you. As long as you know that we are all creating something. Our lives are of creation. I always used to, and I see it more, I used to say to Aldo, and for people that know me knew who Aldo is, I said, is this about imagination? He said, absolutely, it's imagination. We bring forth our imagination. I'm going to that deeper place right now. So know that. Imagine what you want this to be, and it will be. It will be. Anything deep right now? I feel myself going deeper into this.
My question is, am I going to have somebody in the family who's going to become famous in the sports industry?
I feel yes. Actually, I do. Not right now, but in time, yes. The name is going to be out there. Absolutely. I'm feeling it more and more. The answer to your question is yes. Okay? But it's going to take a little while. Okay? And keep in touch and let me know. We'll be in touch anyway.
What else do you see happening for your show? What do you see coming next?
Well,
for
I'm
you?
continuing here. As we discussed a little bit, we may make a few little changes, but this studio, I love it here. It's everything that it's brought me out into something that I have always wanted to do. And I feel very much at home here, as you guys know. I've met many people. Hopefully my vibrational energy has gone out to bring people, just as everybody here. If we're here, we bring in the people that are meant to be here. And I feel very much that hopefully I've contributed a little bit to that. I'm going nowhere. I'm saying that on the air. I'm going to go. I'm staying here. I need to expand myself a little bit. I'm not getting any younger. I want to continue with this. I always say that, but I'm a little bit older than what I look, I think. I don't know. But I want to give my message out to younger people, let's say that, to who have, like Josh, for instance, who's here today, and a few other people in the studio. I feel that hopefully I've made a little difference in their lives, and I want to continue doing that. And
Well, your art has changed from what I'm looking at behind you. We created a nook around it, to what I'm looking at over your shoulder. Your art has changed completely. Is that because your visions have changed?
No, it's something, and I really can't explain that, but ever from the very start, for people that know my story, in the very beginning, I was just sketching. I've never had a lesson, and we had talked a little bit about that too. I was drawing things from signs and symbols from years and years ago, people and places that I didn't believe that I'd seen. So over the years, and I'm going to say about 18 years now, a year or two I'll stick to one style, and then I'll go to another. Can I explain that? No, but I feel that I'm tapping into other things. So right now, and this is some of my newer art, I don't know what I'm doing, but some people that like that may not like the other art that I've done, or vice versa. People that like my other art may not like that. So I don't really
Well, it's
completely
interesting
know.
because Jay found something that he's changed his style.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were talking about that.
My styles have changed completely a couple times, but when I was working on that style, that was what I was completely immersed in.
Right.
But-
I relate.
But I was drawn somehow to something different. Something pulled me to create something different, a different style,
Right.
a different something, and it was something from within that made me change.
Well, I believe, that it is coming from another place. I know I can only really talk for myself because I know that's happening, but I think it happens to many artists. And the fact that I didn't even know that I could paint, until 18 years ago, it suddenly came to me. And that's not an unusual story. So I think as we expand again with our art, our styles change, because the more we grow, I think it shows we're able to put that onto a canvas. And no, not everybody's going to understand that. But I think between artists, I think there's that feeling that we know what's going on. Although we may not even understand it, I feel that your art is changing. It's the place that you're in now that's important, and that's what you're expressing on your canvas.
Right. Whether it stays there forever, I do not know, but I know for now this is where I'm going to stay until I have some sort of calling to change.
Absolutely, and that could be tomorrow, it could be 2 years from now, because that's happened to me. I didn't fully even understand what was happening to me, but I knew if I left my art for a couple of months, my style would change. I mean, I've done very intricate art, you know, in black and white with people that know. I'm going, did I draw that? I don't know, but it was coming from somewhere else. So yes, we are on a journey. We go on that journey, but we're also, and I'm hearing very strongly, that we can put that onto canvas, and that's what we're doing as artists. Yes, and there's 3 of us here now that are artists.
Well, the funny thing is that Jay's art, if you look at it, completely different styles. It's like a different meaning, like if he was touched by God's finger to do something else. Is that normal for artists?
I can only tell you what's happened to me, you know, and I
You're
know
in the
that
same boat. You're doing
exactly
things.
100%. My art changes. People that see something that I've drawn and then I show them something else, they say, but that's not your art. Yes, it's my art. I don't know what I'm drawing, but I see over the years how much my art changes. I don't know if that happens to every artist. I do believe it's happening to you, and I certainly do believe that it's happening to you.
I wanted to ask her, did your art change? Because now you're getting into massive production with different artists. Is that different? Is that new?
So actually, I guide my artists also sometimes when they're creating. And
Always done that?
Always.
Okay.
They, sometimes they don't know where to go, what direction to go, and they ask me, what do you think? And sometimes I'll ask them, you know, what do you think about what I'm doing? And but I help them with writing their descriptions for the artwork, sometimes helping them pick titles. And about my art, what changes is, you know, sometimes it doesn't change, but a lot of times you have a sketch. You know, when you don't do, even when I do abstract, actually, I have some type of vision. So it starts with an idea.
It does.
And
Absolutely, I agree.
There's an idea, and then it's transforming that idea onto canvas. Or
and then you get it out, and then somebody might come by and walk and say, this is a story from the Bible. And I'm like, what story? And actually, the painting of the lion that I told you that I painted was the Merkava, which is the chariot that comes down from heaven. And I was painting it. I didn't know I was painting the chariot. And I just set out to paint a lion. And as I was painting the lion, all the other animals came into it because I saw them with my paintbrush. So as I was painting, I'm like, oh my God, I see a bird. And then I went with it and I said, well, I see snakes and I see this. And I'm like, what is going on? And I never even painted an animal before. This was my first one. It was a lion. And then I had to figure out how to keep the lion intact because I was losing him because all the other animals came into it. And I was like, okay, well, now I have to figure out how to merge them all. And I'm like, what did I just do to myself?
Can I just, because I can relate very much to what you're saying, Hannah, and I believe that anybody that is an artist out there too, if there's artists listening, it's coming from a different place. And I think sometimes, as I just said to you, I believe, that when our journey gets, as we go along, we understand more. And I think that's shown in as artists, as anybody that's an artist can put that onto a canvas. I truly believe that that's what's happened to you.
I also love the fact that people discover things in my art that I don't necessarily see.
I can relate definitely
so
to that
they'll see in my studio, we do the art walks, and they'll come in and they'll say, well, this painting looks like a gorilla. I said, what are you talking about? Where do you see a gorilla? I'm like, I have there's an abstract vase with hands and feet coming out of it, and like the background is very abstract. And I'm like, yeah, I see a gorilla. I'm like, I don't see it. Well, okay, but some people see it, and there was like more than one person that saw it. And then my lion piece was in my house for years, maybe 3 years, and somebody comes over and says, oh, I see 2 birds on each end, and I'm like, 2 birds? I'm like, I didn't see it. and another person saw something that I didn't see in my own art. And I think that basically that's why we're so unique as humans, because some people could see some things
Well,
that
I
others
actually
can't.
had a painting completely the wrong way. You know the dragons that I brought in? I had it this way, and actually when I turned it the other way, it was totally a different type of painting, and it was meant to be that way. So I think we all
Well,
have
then
that.
I got a question, because, I mean, I'm not an artist. My art has to do with cameras differently. Do you see a change going on? I mean, the three of you are all on similar
Yeah.
wavelengths
Yeah, right.
of change and bigger, better things coming. And
I do. I see for each one of us, including myself, yes. I think I need to put my art more out there. I have been very, I'm going to say, lax in doing that, because but I feel that I get a lot of feedback on my art and my story, and I think it's my time to start. I think it's your time, definitely, and your time to be opening the studio that you are. I feel that very strongly, okay? I think actually the combination of the three of us here is not accidental by any means whatsoever.
I think that also sometimes when you feel like there's so much struggle to be somewhere, and like, you know, a lot of times you struggle when you're following your dreams. It's not easy, and that's why your daughter spoke to us, because I think she was here to tell all of us that.
Well, she was an artist, by the way. She loved to paint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't, people didn't know that, but she did go
Oh
to
my
art
God.
school in New York at one time. She was
Wow.
very, very artistic.
See, that's amazing. That's
She went to
now I
Trapphagen,
would love
I
to see
think.
her art.
She's actually telling me to tell you that. She said, but I was an artist, I painted.
But that's the interesting thing
Oh my
about
God.
what you're about to open is interesting, because those are the curiosity, the stories that go behind all those rooms that are going to be opening, and you got to sustain that amount of frequency to get
Well,
it
there's
done.
so much love that artists give with their art to the world, and the world needs it now more than ever. So I know that space is going to be a unique space for people to come together and also interact, because a lot of times people get into this whole reality of AI, and you know, I think we're losing touch with connections to humans from one human to another. And the art does that, because when I used to do art lessons with kids, it didn't dawn on me that the kids wouldn't talk to each other. They would sit all around the table and have 8 kids around the table, 10 kids around the table. They would do their art. And I remember as a kid, I would talk to the kid next to me and I would be friendly with them, but they weren't talking to each other. And the only time they actually interacted with each other was when I took a painting and I said, look at what Rachel did. And then, Rachel, where are you from? And then, you know, like, and then pulled them into interaction with one another, because today kids are like, they grow up with cell phones and
Right,
iPads,
right,
and
right.
even with adults, we never answer our phones now, because we're like, oh, this is annoying. Who's calling us? Like, people knock on your door and you're like, I don't want to open it.
I have to just, my daughter is actually contacting me, and it's usually Dawn. Her email was, I believe, out of the box. It was called out of the box, whatever it was, .com. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's wanted me to tell you guys that, okay? Dawn, do you feel the message at all? Right.
I wanted to just touch...
I think we have to wrap it up.
Okay, and I just want to touch a second on something you said before, that there is no coincidences, because it takes me back to a picture that I did of a lady at sunset on the beach with a horse. I just did this picture.
It's in
Dawn-
her- she had a picture.
Dawn had a photograph of herself
Oh.
that matched that picture.
It goes beyond that. I first met Dawn. I showed her some of my art, and she said to me, I've seen this. Where is she? It's all tied up, okay?
There is no coincidence.
We've got to wrap it up. This is really interesting. Maybe we'll finish it next week. Thank you for that. Thank you,
More to come.
Dawn, for
Thank you,
being here
Sally.
to do.
Thank you. I'm glad I
birthday, Louise.
stayed.
I'm glad you did too. Thank you, Freddie, for making all this possible. Bye-bye. You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Barnard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybarnard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.